What's going on, guys? Wrestling Flash here with all the latest and hottest WWE news and rumors. Let's jump right into it. Seth Rollins has commented on Roman Reigns' incredible run in WWE over the past year. He admitted that the Universal Champion had previously struggled for an on-screen identity. Before praising his current run, Reigns turned heel upon his return to the company at SummerSlam 2020, after a brief hiatus at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. He won the Universal Championship a week later, and has kept the title ever since, going on a career-defining run in the process. Seth Rollins recently spoke with Daily Star about the evolution of Roman Reigns' character, having witnessed the entirety of his WWE career from a close position. He stated the difficulties in getting the desired crowd reactions, especially early into a main event run. "I've watched him grow as a performer over time, and one thing I think people don't understand is that it takes time to be really good at this business and to figure yourself out and find your comfort level," Seth Rollins said. Even though he was put in a position to succeed early on, that is a lot of pressure for a young man. He is in the middle of an incredible run as far as WrestleMania main events are concerned, and kinda being put in the Hulk Hogan, John Cena top spot. That is not easy, that is a difficult thing to do. Roman Reigns has evolved so much as a character to the point where he feels comfortable, according to Seth Rollins. One can sense the Tribal Chief's personality shining through, with Rollins mentioning the authenticity of his act, and how it helps in connecting Reigns to the fans. The savior of SmackDown acknowledged how cool it has been to see his former Shield brother succeed as the top star in WWE. For years he kinda struggled to figure out who he was on screen. Now he knows, and it's been cool to see his growth. As someone who was a mentor to him in his younger years, to watch him grow now, I feel real good about that. It's cool to see where he's at now, and where he could go in the future, Seth Rollins added. Seth Rollins recently reacted to John Cena mentioning him and Jon Moxley in his promo battle with Roman Reigns last week on SmackDown. The 16-time world champion said that Reigns nearly ruined Rollins and ran Dean Ambrose out of WWE. Meanwhile, the company has been teasing a match between the former Shield brothers for a while. Expect some fireworks when Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins finally face each other, owing to their excellent chemistry in and out of the ring. During the most recent episode of Legion of Raw with Dr. Chris Featherstone, Vince Russo came down heavily on Randy Orton's character transformation in the WWE. RK-Bro reunited on this week's Raw, and Russo noted how WWE has effectively killed Randy Orton's character. Fans are not used to seeing the current iteration of Orton's gimmick, and Russo explained how the lack of a proper transition had hurt the Viper's on-screen personality. The former WWE head writer said that Orton's recent actions would have been justified with some character building, which he felt was clearly lacking in this case. "That's how you kill a character. When would Randy Orton act this way? Did we miss a transition? Did something happen? This is so out of his character that you're watching this and saying, wait a minute, bro, I've been watching Randy Orton for 10 years why is he doing this?" stated Russo. Delving deeper into the issue, Vince Russo cited the example of Batman and Robin to back up his claim. Batman's famous superhero sidekick came out as bisexual in the most recent edition of the comics. Russo said there was no problem with the revelation as long as DC had given hints about Robin's sexual orientation in previous years. The veteran wrestling personality stressed the importance of long-term character development and added that such traits were missing in WWE's booking of Randy Orton. "I hate when all of a sudden there is a character transaction, and it comes out of nowhere. I do a Batman 66 show with R.D. Reynolds, and we're both big fans of Batman. Well, it came out last week that all of a sudden, in the latest comic book, Robin is now bisexual," added Vince Russo. "Here's what my issue is. I don't have a problem with Robin being bisexual, but my problem is the Robin character we've known as these years. Has that ever shown traces of being bisexual, or is he now just bisexual because that's a hot topic? Now, if I look back and I see things maybe I didn't see before, now it's like, okay, but when you never saw any kind of those traits, and it's the same thing here." Do you agree with Russo's views on the progression of Orton's gimmick in the WWE? You can share your opinions in the comments section below. Jinder Mahal reacted to some fans calling him the experimental champion. When Mahal won the WWE Championship at Battleground in 2017, he had to contend with criticism from fans stating that he was the worst WWE champion ever. His title reign ended within a few months when he got pinned by AJ Styles. Styles then faced Brock Lesnar at that year's Survivor Series, a match for which Jinder had initially been advertised. In an exclusive interview with Give Me Sport, Jinder detailed how he felt about fans calling him an unworthy champion. Mahal said it was an effort by some fans to downplay his achievements in the WWE, and hinted that his crowning moment as WWE champion had nothing to do with WWE's work in India. That was because WWE was well entrenched in expanding into the Indian market even before he became WWE champion. So this is just people downplaying my accomplishments. WWE Universe in India, their TV deals everything, were just as much in play when I was in 3MB. While I was released, I do believe WWE Raw was the live show on Sony. At that time they separated the rosters again, Raw and SmackDown, and they just needed some people who were TV ready essentially to throw on and maybe highlight some of the newer talent. But somewhere along the line I knew this is my way in. This is my foot in the door. I'm going to knock the whole door down, and I'm going to become WWE Champion. Jinder Mahal said. Jinder Mahal believes he has worked hard for the opportunity to shine at the top of the card. He's set to face Drew McIntyre in a grudge match at SummerSlam this Saturday. Mahal also likened his situation to Drew McIntyre and questioned why fans never pegged Drew as the experimental champion to pander to the UK audience. Do you think Jinder will score an upset over Drew McIntyre, or will the Scottish Warrior decimate the modern-day Maharaja? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Bray Wyatt was released by WWE last month. Former WWE writer Freddie Prinze Jr. has revealed that his sources have told him Bray Wyatt did not get on well with Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn creatively. Wyatt would often butt heads with them. Wyatt was supposedly set to return to WWE in August after being out of action for months. Instead, he was unceremoniously released by the company as part of budget cuts. Freddie Prinze Jr. revealed on the Ringer Wrestling Show that Bray Wyatt did not get along perfectly with Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn ahead of his release. The key reason for this was that he did not play ball. Here is what Cage Side Seats reported. On the Ringer Wrestling Show, former WWE writer Freddie Prinze Jr. wouldn't reveal everything he knows from friends backstage, but did indicate Bray Wyatt butted heads creatively with Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn before his release because Wyatt wasn't playing ball. It is a known fact that Wyatt was one of the most creative superstars in the locker room. Superstars from past and present have shown their support to Wyatt after news of his release broke out. It is possible that Wyatt's highly opinionated personality led to him becoming problematic for the top brass. This likely led to his release, even with his being one of the top merchandise sellers in WWE. It had also been reported by Fightful that the former WWE champion had become very protective of his character. This protective nature came after he felt WWE had made some poor choices with him. Bray Wyatt was last seen on the Raw after WrestleMania 37. Wyatt lost his much-hyped match against Randy Orton at WrestleMania thanks to Alexa Bliss and later hinted at a possible program with her. Do you think Bray Wyatt's issues with Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn had a role to play in his release? Tell us in the comments.